Welcome to a very exciting episode of Kletus Ray's Roadside Service. Guys, I know you're probably like, where the fuck is he? Did he ride a motorcycle and die? Baby. No, not yet. As of 7:25 on Tuesday, the 22nd. Yes. No, I was just waving at a guy. As of right now, there's no accidents. Everything's great. Nothing bad. Everything's gonna be fine. Somebody's used my stump. I'm happy to see. They've been using a fucking bungee cord, and that's annoying to hold the gate open. They've been using a fucking bungee, and I'm like, you got to go all the way around the gate and get the bungee off. Bullshit. Anyways, we're driving today. We're driving a brand new semi truck. I've got It's got 998 miles on it. So I'm gonna hit 1,000 miles in this truck. And most of that is probably from where it came from. I think it came from Ohio or something. But anyways, we're going to get an IDOD on this motherfucker. Um no, guys, I'm so sorry. I haven't been recording, especially the last what, like 6 days. I've been riding with a guy at work, and then Friday they were like, "Hey, we're not going to work on Friday because shit's all fucked up." I'm like, "Okay." So I took Friday off. I was like, "You know what? I'll just take Friday off. One day off ain't a big deal. I'll just take Friday off, and there's some things I'd like to get done because Thursday, or maybe it wasn't Wednesday. I thought I would get off early enough or start late enough that I would be able to run up to the testing facility so I could get my permit done. But that never happened. I didn't get off. I got off or I went in with like, I don't know. I could have got to the place at 8, and I probably could have got my test done, but I don't know. I just took Friday off, and that's what I did on Friday morning. I woke up. I already received the bike. You guys know this. I have the bike. Friday morning, I wake up and I go immediately out to a testing facility. There's only a couple, really. I think there's one in Independence, Lee Summit, and Harrisonville on the Missouri side. And I think there's even more up north, the further north you go. But really, that's about it. So I decided to go over to the Lee Summit one just because I've been to that one a lot in the past. That's where I've taken everything that I've done. So, anyways, went there, went in, signed up, sat down at a computer immediately, took the test. It was like 25 questions, 25 of which were not at all in the YouTube video that I'd been watching. I'd been watching a YouTube video just like Missouri motorcycle permit test questions, and not one of those motherfuckers was in that fucking question box or whatever. But luckily, I'm a smart motherfucker. I'm smart as hell, okay? Because I just winged it. And I'm like, man, I think I fucked up. I think I fucked up. And then all of a sudden it says, you passed. I said, oh, okay. I guess I did okay. So I went up there. I got the piece of paper. I went straight to the DMV by my house. Walked in there with the permit. Got my permit. Got like I had to get a piece of paper that says legal for driving because at the testing office it says not legal for driving. So took that in there, got the paper. I had to wait for a while. There was a long ass line. It was like Friday morning. I did not expect to be sitting in a fucking office for an hour. I thought I would be walking in, walking out. So anyways, I got the permit. I leave, and I'm like, all right, well, what's next? And I was like, oh, I have to get this bike inspected in order to license it. And I mean, I could technically, I think I have 30 days from the time I have the title signed. I have 30 days I could ride it, but I'm also riding on my brother's plate. My brother left his plate on it. And I was like, I don't want to do that. It was within spec. It was a good plate, but I wanted to get my own. So I found a place where turns out this is where I didn't realize this guy was still in business. He runs a little motorcycle shop, and as kids we used to ride our dirt bikes. I bought some dirt bikes from him. We used to ride our bikes up there and just hang out. It's a really cool place, and I don't really want to give out the name, but anyways, he's open, and I called him, and I'm like, "Hey, man, you do inspections?" He's like, "I sure do." I'm like, "Can I do one in like an hour?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right." So I'm at home. I had the kids were off of school on Friday, so and I think they were sick. My son and my daughter were both throwing up, but my son was throwing up on like Wednesday night, and then my daughter started throwing up I think Thursday night into Friday, and but I felt great. My wife felt fine. Um, anyways, the we I rode the bike to the place because I was like, all right, I have a permit, I have the title, I think I should be good. And so I rode the bike over to the motorcycle shop, which was only like 30 minutes away. So, well, less than that actually. But I took some back roads ish area. I'm like, I'm not so sure I'm comfortable on the roads quite yet. I just got this fucking bike. I don't want to overdo it immediately. So I took some back roads, feeling out the bike. This is also my first road ride with the bike, other than just like up and down my street and around the block. Everything felt fine. I'm still, you're looking at everybody driving a car. You're like, you motherfucker, you could run me over. I need you to pay attention to me. But, rode there, got it inspected in like 10 minutes, paid the guy $20. And even though it only cost a 10, I was like, keep 10, bud. Because I used to hang out with him all the time. And I feel, I don't feel bad, but I haven't seen him in a long time. And I'm just glad to see he's still kicking. He looks exactly the same, also, which is crazy. It's like, you didn't age a day in 15 years, dude. Maybe even longer than that. This guy's always looked like he's 60 years old. Like, probably from the time he was 20, he looked like he was 60, and he just does not age at all. But he's cool. I think he's got a Honda or a Yamaha. I'm not exactly sure what model it is. I think it's just something he's pieced together, but it's the same exact bike he's been riding to work with a pink milk crate, tied to the back, and he's been riding that bike to work for over 30 years, and maybe even before that. But he opened his shop, I think, 35 years ago. And from when I was a kid, he was riding that same bike to work. And I always saw him like, man, wonder what kind of bike he has, because it's got to be a good bike, right? And it probably is, but I don't know. It's all pieced together. It's got a different tank, different seat. I don't know. Duct tape here. That's the kind of guy you want working on your motorcycle. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it good. Um, but anyways, got it inspected. Rode home, and I don't know why I rode home. I just rode home because I felt bad because my wife is at home with sick kids, and I was like, "Is there anything I can do?" Not. I actually need to leave though. I need to go to the DMV again, and so I made sure I had all the paperwork I could possibly need. Went back up to the DMV and got my fucking plate. and the line was way shorter, so I only had to wait like half the time for the license part. But got it. I got the plate. I got everything good to go, and I even rode the bike up there to do it. So I swapped the plate out in the parking lot, and then fucking rolled over to Luke's house immediately because he lives not too far from the DMV that I was specifically going to. And he came out, checked it out, because that's the first time I think Luke had ever seen the bike. He knew that my brother had it, I think, but anyways, got it. It's ready to go, dude. So I took it home, and that was all on Friday, and then Saturday, I took it out a little bit on Saturday, but not much. And then Sunday, it was raining all day. And guess what, guys? I woke up Sunday morning with the fucking shits, the throwing up, the shitting. It was not fun. And so I just hung out inside watching dirt bike videos and stuff. I couldn't even make it to the garage. I was just like fucking done. And so then I could not sleep that night because I was like, all right, well, the bike is ready to ride to work and I feel like shit, but I'm also got the nerves because I'm going to be riding the bike in the morning traffic to work. And if driving in a car tells you anything about how the traffic is in the mornings, it's sketchy. So I was like, I was nervous, but I was also sick. So I kept waking up all night long. I was waking up, and I was out of steam, and I called in. Monday morning, I called in. Also, the guys doing our job, they were like, "Yeah, we're not doing anything Monday. Let's plan on Tuesday." And then, of course, they decided Tuesday, or not Tuesday, Monday, late yesterday. They're like, "Hey, we're actually not going to work again." I'm like, "Fuck!" But that was probably, I don't know, because I wanted to leave like really early in the morning, and that's what I think I'm going to start doing is leaving early in the morning. So like whenever I'm riding the bike and it's a little bit dark out, I think people can see me better because I've got lights, and I can see them better because usually they'll have lights on too, and there's a lot less traffic. So I think riding early in the morning is going to be the thing that I'm going to try to do from here on out. But yeah, what was it? Monday, I woke up. Yeah, didn't feel good. I called in. I shit a few more times, but then it's like the stomach bug that was going around. It kind of had passed by, let's say, 11, and I was feeling a little bit better. I dropped off my son at the school bus. I dropped my daughter off at her school. I rode with the wife around, and then we had to pick up my daughter at 11 something. And I decided to eat finally. I didn't eat anything Sunday. Barely ate really anything Saturday. I don't think I ate too much on Saturday. But I was feeling a lot better, and I just needed to rehydrate and get some food in me. And then I was feeling pretty damn good on Monday. Plus, it was a perfect day outside. Sunday was just rainy, horrible. But Monday I got the front yard mowed. I decided not to do the back just because I was still not feeling the greatest about moving around that much and putting in that much effort. But I did get the front mowed down, and I swapped out all the blinkers because my brother had put on these tiny little LED ching chong fucking blinkers on this bike, and he did an okay job, but none of the connections, like I just had to just barely pull on the wires and shit was coming apart. So I was like, okay, well I need to do better on this anyways. So I just cut all the connections, rewired them up, and used my little solder connectors and some shrink wrap, and got them blinkers working good, except for one of them. I'm missing the nut that holds it on, and it was broke, so it had tape all over it. But I went ahead and I redid all the tape to make it look a little bit better and hold a little bit stronger, and got it wired up. But it's just held on by um, vice grips right now, because I don't have a bolt for it. I looked through all of my bolts several times, and I cannot find any bolt. I can find a lot of bolts of that size, but none of them had the right thread pitch or whatever. Oh, and also, right after I dropped off my daughter at school, we went straight to Home Depot, because that dirt bike, it had risers on the handlebars, and I was like, I don't know, maybe my grandpa's not a very tall man, and I'm sure my grandpa is the one that put it on there. But I don't know why. I was like, I'm going to take the risers off of the handlebars. They're like 2-inch risers, nothing crazy, but I didn't like how deep the gauges and stuff were behind the fairing, and the handlebars were up so high. Like I had to keep leaning pretty far forward just to see some of my gauges and stuff. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take these risers off, and I had to go to Home Depot and get new bolts, shorter bolts to take out the risers. And while I had the fairing and everything apart, I painted the fairing, because I had painted it completely black, and I looked at it for a while, and I was like, I don't like the black. So I painted it all white, and then I put clear over it, so it looked good. And then the two side plastics, my brother said he had painted them black also, and they were originally white, so I just resprayed those white. And then, so now the bike has got all white plastics except for the front fender. It's still got that two-tone black and white, black with the white stripe or whatever. And I'm not a fan of that, so I went ahead and I ordered a new fender, and the fender should be here this week, and I'll get that put on. It's from an RM 450, I think, so it's a little bit sportier looking, because I don't like this front fender, and I've looked at it several times, because it's a big wide thing. There's a lot going on there, and a lot of times people just cut them to make them fit right, to make them look better. But I didn't want to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to cut it up. So I just ordered a stock one for a 450, and it's gonna look fine. They had some that had like sharp edges, but I didn't want it to look out of date, so I found one for the RM 450 that's still kind of rounded, but it's got a little bit more sportier look to it. And but I also I put some spacers in the rear bolt holes in between the fender and the handlebar, where it mounts to the 3-point fork holder or whatever. I put some spacers in there to pitch the front fender up just a little bit more, because it looked like it was pointed down, and it does look a little bit better, but it's not right. And I'm pretty sure this 450 fender is going to look wonderful on there. And it's all white, but it has UFO on the front. I'm hoping that's just a sticker I can rip off. What else did I did some more wiring stuff. Like, it's got heated hand grips. But I don't really plan on using the heated hand grips. And just to get rid of some of the wiring, I unplugged it and took that thing out. I don't need heated hand grips. It also had like a little button control thing that was mounted to where the handlebars mount, and it was just kind of bulky and didn't look great. So I took it out and threw it in the box of spare parts. So I guess whenever it starts getting colder out, and if I decide I want heated hand grips, I'll go ahead and throw it back on there. But as of right now, I just got the end tied up, electrical taped up with some shielding and wire shielding, and got it kind of tucked away. So it'll still be good. It's just gonna be waiting on me. And then yeah, I cleaned up some of the other wiring. Just the way it was all routed, you could tell like this bike wasn't gone through like all at once. It was just like, hey, I'm gonna add this. Hey, I'm gonna add this. Hey, I'm gonna add this, and the wires were just fucking everywhere. So I kind of unplugged some things and rerouted them, made sure my turning radius is still good, and I'm not gonna be stretching any wires or anything. And yeah, I like it. The handlebar, I think it looks better with the handlebars a little bit lower. Looks a little bit better. I changed the pitch of the handlebars, and we're good, man. And so I rode it around a little bit on Monday. I didn't go anywhere. I went around the block the long way. That's about it. And then yeah, just oh, sorry, I'm pulling up to where I need to be. Pulling up to where I need to be. Oh, this one's got a backup beeper on it. And then my ride this morning went well. I'm going to tell you about that here after I get this IDOD done for the ride back. All right, we got the IDOD finished up. All right, so yeah, my ride to work was uneventful, which is good. It is different being going fast on the highway. I don't know, like because I had always heard from people that like when you're on a motorcycle and you're driving, it feels like you're not going fast enough. So that's why a lot of motorcycles go really fast, is because you're like, oh, I got more. Maybe that's on street bikes, but the bike I got, no. I mean, I did hit, I think 75 once, but it felt like I was going 75 is what it felt like. I didn't feel like, oh, I could go faster. No, it was like, this is good, but you want uh, my idea of it, and I'm not going to be teaching anybody how to ride a bike. I'm just talking about my experience and what I think may a little bit, is you don't want to be going too slow. You want make sure people see you, but you don't want to be going too slow and have somebody fly up on you. People are in a lane going way fast next to you, and then somebody's just like, oh, I'm going to go around this line of traffic and fucking blam right into you, even though you're in the more right side lane versus left. Because the only time I ever rode the fast lane is whenever I'm, getting close up to my exit that I need to take. I did. So one thing I know, it's horrible and it's probably something I shouldn't admit, but I have several times forgot to buckle my helmet. I put the helmet on, and then I immediately put my glasses on, and then I hop on the bike and I go. And I really need to get used to strapping the helmet. I don't know. It's like buckling a seatbelt. Once I get on the road a little bit, I'll throw it on. No, that's not what this is. This is me. I'm riding in this morning, and I get on the highway, pretty quickly, and then I'm like, what the hell is hitting my helmet? But my helmet, I got it from Amazon, so it's probably not the greatest helmet, but it was a good price, and according to the reviews, it's pretty good. I kind of wish one of the reviews would show like a crash or whatever and see how it held up, but I think it's a inspired to live more, IL IT. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's some weird helmet. But it's cool. It's got the full face visor that comes down. It's got 3 vents, 1 in the mouth, 2 in the head. It's got another little button that pops down some sunglasses, but I kind of wish they went down a little bit further and they didn't have the nose cut out. I kind of just wish it just came all the way down. Because you still, it kind of where I ride with my helmet, maybe I need to point it down a little bit more, but uh, kind of like the bottom of the sunglass visor thing that comes down is kind of in the middle of my center of vision. So I don't really like, so far I haven't really liked running that, which is fine. I can just leave it up all the time. It's not going to bounce down or anything. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I rode the slow lane for a while, checking my mirrors and shit. And the mirrors are all bouncy. You're on a motorcycle doing like 70 miles an hour, so you're bouncing around, and you got to just kind of check your mirror. You don't want to check your mirror for too long. You don't know what's going on in front of you because your field of view is severely brought down wearing a helmet. Because you're just looking through this little window. But yeah, check my mirrors, make sure I'm clear, put my blinker on before I turn. And then I will say with the original blinkers, they're still not indicating. I took the old ones off because my brother, he said he took the old ones off, put new ones on, and then the little indicator up on the dash is what I'm going to call it, but just there's an indicator light to tell you if your blinker's on or not. And with the little tiny ones, I couldn't even tell if I had my blinker on or not. So I'm just constantly trying to remember to push that button in to clear out any blinker signal. But with these old blinkers back in there, they're so big and bulky that I can see them illuminating in front of me. So that works out. But yeah, just I rode in the slow lane, and then I kept hearing something hitting my helmet, so I pulled over. Which I never wanted to pull over on the side of the highway, but the next exit that was coming up, it was kind of a fucking crapshoot to get back on the highway. So I just pulled over on the side of the highway, but luckily on a bike, you can pull way over, especially a dual sport, pull up in the grass if you want to. But so I just pulled over really far, left my blinker on the whole time, and strapped the helmet up because you need 2 hands, and I'm not. I mean, some people might be able to ride with no hands. That ain't me yet. I'm sure eventually I'll have a 2-handed deal going on, but as of right now, no. Just gonna pull over, put it on properly, and then hit the road again. And I checked my blind spot, my mirrors, and got up to like halfway up to speed on the shoulder, and then merged in once I made sure I was good and had my blinker on and everything. Everybody gave me some space, so it was pretty good. Get on the road. I didn't have anybody cut me off or anything. I know it's going to happen eventually. I didn't have anybody hard brake in front of me. The other thing with a motorcycle is a lot of times, even with my manual truck and even my car and stuff I don't have a car anymore, but you downshift because they're all manual. So you downshift and it slows you down. Like there's not really much use. I mean, there is use for a brake, but you don't really need a brake to slow down, but you also want the people behind you to know that you're slowing down because you're already kind of hard to see. People are playing on their phones and shit. So I was hitting the brakes. Luckily, my brakes work really well, but they don't work. My front brake isn't twitchy, so I can just barely click on my front brake, and it'll illuminate my light in the rear, which is kind of cool. And my foot brake, I might need to adjust that a little bit because I think I would like my foot brake. I don't want to have to push down so far to hit the brake. But right now you got like, I don't know, let's just say 4 to 5 inches of travel in your foot brake on the right side. So I think I want to, tighten that up a little bit. I don't need it to be like as soon as I touch the brake, it fucking brakes. But I think it's a cable driven brake versus the hydraulic front brake. But yeah, everything went fine. Made it to work. My work, we have a gravel drive, so I made sure to slow down. And before that, there's a lot of sand and dirt and shit all over the roads. And so, me riding dirt bikes growing up, just whenever you're in a situation like that, like I don't use the front brake. I'm going to use the rear brake just to kind of slow down on uneven surfaces. Because I grew up riding a Honda XL 100 was my very first bike, and I would ride it on the road. It was really easy to learn how to ride, and I'd ride it up and down the street. And like I've said several times before, we grew up on a double cul-de-sac, so it was no traffic or anything. Would ride it up and down my street, and but I was used to bicycles, so I would always use the handbrake just because that's what I was used to. Well, the first time I was invited over to a buddy's house around the block, and he had a couple four-wheelers and stuff, and yeah, come ride in our backyard. And I dumped that bike so fucking much. It was insane how many. They're like, this guy can't ride for shit. I'm like, I never used the rear brake, but apparently when you're on off-road and uneven surfaces, you got to use the rear brake because you're going to just dump that motherfucker. So luckily I got that going for me. I just, I like to use both brakes, but I don't know. Once I get more comfortable, I'll probably be using on the road. I'll be using the front brake a little bit more, but I'm at least now. And I was really young. I was like 11, 12, maybe 13, riding dirt bikes as a kid. So I and I did a lot of off-road riding after that. A lot. I was mainly off-road. I would be on the road just to get to the off-road spot, and that was even with dirt bike tires. These are street tires, and I about dumped this one in my front yard, but that was from doing a burnout because I popped the clutch going through the ditch in my yard. I popped the clutch and it fucking wah, spun out. Um, got some traffic doing some things here. So yeah, the ride went well. Got it parked up at the shop. Hooked my helmet to the back rack, and I got a T-shirt, a long sleeve, and I've had a jacket on because even though it was right now it's almost 70 degrees. It was like only 54 when I left, so I was like I better. And it was a good idea, but I was fogging up a little bit, which is kind of surprising. I was a little shocked that I was fogging up as much as I was at those speeds because with all those vents, I was like, that's insane. I'm not getting enough airflow to clean off my visor because it would do that on Friday when I was riding around. It was fogging up, but it was a little moist out because it was barely a sprinkle. But I was like, I have to go get this shit done. If I don't get this shit done today, it could be months before I get it done. Maybe not months, but it could. I gotta set time away off to the side to try to get it inspected and all that shit. So luckily I was able to get it all done. This truck better not run out of fuel. I'm in the red. Whoever brought this back never fueled it up. I'm gonna have to take this to the truck shop or go over to a truck stop, get this thing fueled up. And of course there's no card in here, so I gotta do it with my credit. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, I did a little bit of a tune up to my pickup. Not a whole lot. Well, I guess I did quite a bit. The air filter I ordered is the wrong size. It's a little bit too big for my air cleaner. Luckily, it should bolt right up to my 79 truck. So I'm not too worried about that. What else? So I replaced the plugs, the wires, and the cap and rotor on my 92. I ordered all that stuff, and I don't know. I got an MSD cap and rotor. I got Champion plugs, and I got the JDM speed plug wires. They were cheap as fuck, so I was like, these will work. I was like, I don't. New wires, they should work. They should be fine. They're probably not the best quality, but they got to be better than what I got in there right now. Because man, the plugs I pulled out, I mean, there was only one that looked a little bit wet. The other ones, they all seemed kind of dry. And I did have the truck running before I replaced the plugs. Um, Not very long, but it did run a little bit. But one of the number one plug was a little bit wet, so maybe that it just happened to be that was on the intake stroke, and the fuel has nowhere to evaporate. Um, which I guess would make sense, but all the plugs seem to be okay. I took all the Champion plugs in. I Googled. I don't know why, but I decided to Google and just use the AI. I was like, what plug gap for a Chevy 350? And they said 0.035. So I have feeler gauges, which I'm kind of shocked I have them. I don't know where I got them from, but I got a 40, a 30, a 20, and a 15, and I think a 5. Maybe a 10 and a 5. I don't know. I got a bunch of different feeler gauges, so I just put the 15 on the 20 and put it in my vise and clamped it down until they were touching. But you got to kind of give it a little bit extra just to make sure it goes in there good enough. And all 6 plugs, and then replace the plugs one at a time. And every time I replace the plug, I replace the wire that goes with it, just so I'm not going to lose track of where I'm at. Same thing with my fucking 79. I don't need another situation like that, but I had the time to take care of it yesterday. Um, but yeah, replace plugs one at a time. And yeah, I had a mismatched plugs on the truck already, so that was kind of a telltale sound. But the plugs, when I pulled them out, like the whole tops of them where the socket goes, it was all rusted. Like these have been in there for a while. They were NGKs, but the truck ran fine. But pulled those out, put new ones in, put new plug wires on. These plug wires, I'm hoping they're going to be okay. They didn't really. The boot seems like it was kind of pushing them back. So I'm hoping I don't have any issues with plug wires popping off. And then once I got all the plugs and wires replaced, I did the cap and rotor. And I just grabbed the new cap and I moved all the plugs over in the same direction and everything to the new cap. The rotor was seized on there. It was really bad. So I had to use some penetrating oil and also bang the shit out of it, and I broke the cap a little bit. And then I ended up using a pry bar, which I didn't really want to use a pry bar on my distributor, but I was able to get that thing popped off there, sprayed it down, put a Brillo pad on there and scraped it up, and it was good to go after that. Put the new cap on there, made sure it's tapped down all the way. So the old cap and rotor, I wouldn't say it was severely worn, but it was worn. That's been on there for 6 years that I've owned the truck, and I don't know how long it's been on there since before that. And then that brings me to I got a new fuel filter. I was like, might as well throw a new fuel filter on there, just freshen it up. I got the little I got them to all turn. on the fuel line, so I wasn't going to be twisting my fuel line out. So that was good. And I got one of them loose, but the other one I could not fucking get it. I had the correct size wrench. It barely fit on there, and it still rounded off the fucking deal. I had vice grips down there. I could not fucking get it. No, plus, I didn't lift my truck up at all, so I'm on a rolly pad underneath, and there was not a lot of room, and I had fuel dripping into my fucking eyes. I even put on safety glasses, but laying down on that little rolly pad kept pushing on the fucking things on my safety glasses. My safety glasses kept falling off and dripping fuel like all over my face and shit. It was a pain in the ass, and I just gave up. I tightened it all back as much as I could, and I put a lot of penetrating oil on there, so I'm hoping. Well, I'm just gonna wait till next time I bring my truck into the shop. Next time I bring the truck to the shop, I'm gonna replace the fuel filter and do the oil change, because I can get rid of the oil at the shop, and the fuel filter, I don't know. I'm just gonna get some. They have a little bit different tools. Might be able to help out. I even have one of those line wrenches that's like a closed in wrench, 6-sided, but it's got one side cut out so you can go over the fuel line. And even that was stripping it out. So now the damn thing's about rounded out. It's fucking bullshit, man. It's fucking bullshit. So I'm hoping I won't have to put a new fuel line or like reflare the fuel line and everything, but I'm thinking I'm gonna. But luckily I can probably just get, I don't know. I might have to put in a new, like, I might have to put in another fuel line, like another little section of fuel line. The fuel line looks fine. And it's not corroded enough that those little flare nuts weren't stuck on the line. I got them both to spin on the line, but yeah. So I don't know. I need to get a new flare nut, another little tiny section of line. Well, I need to get 3 flare nuts, a joint thing, and I don't know, just get it to where I can fucking get my fuel line fixed. Because if I reflare the line where it's at, I'm afraid it might not be long enough to reach to the new, and I don't want to stretch anything out. I guess I could probably bend a little bit, get one of those bending tools and try to bend it out a little bit and give me a little bit extra. I could just grind off, well, not grind off because it's going to be fuel, but just cut off as little as much as I can, so I could put the new nut on there and flare it, and then it'll be good to go. Didn't do anything else to the truck. I just got an oil. I need to go to the auto parts store and get a bunch more like gear oil and stuff, because I want to replace the transmission oil, transfer case oil, front and rear diff. I want to check those out. I got a new diff seal for the rear. The front, I think there's a drain plug on the front diff, I think. And then filling them up is pretty easy. It's easier with some sort of a pump, which I think I have a pump. I need to throw that in my truck so I can have it whenever I bring my truck back to work. But need to, you gotta just pump it in there until it starts coming out of the hole. Once it gets up to where the hole is, then you know you're full. And then I got magnets on there too. On the rear diff, there's a magnet, and then also on the oil filter, there's a magnet. So I'm kind of interested to see what that has done. I just need to make sure the magnet doesn't fall off. I want to keep the magnet on there, and I want to cut open the filter so I can see how much it really helped. And I'm hoping it's on the correct side too. Because I don't know. Does it pull from the outside to the inside and it filters to the inside, or does it pump the oil into the middle of the filter and then to the outside? Because if it does that, then I guess it probably shouldn't have anything on it. And then that'll kind of tell me if I need to put the magnet on there again. You would think that you'd hear of people putting the magnets on there. Or they would make one that's got a big magnetic thing on it. So catch any little tiny shavings and stuff. But I'm thinking that's why my oil is so clear and still good. Trying to think of anything else that's going on. But I bought my son a little Razor electric bike. Guy wanted $75 for it, and he's like, "Yeah, my kid's barely used it." Well, the battery seems to be pretty worn out. Whenever I got it, I was like, "Man, this thing feels like it's kind of dead." He's like, "Yeah, we haven't charged it." I'm like, "Okay." Took it home, stuck it on the charge. I don't know. I guess the thing needs to charge for like 12 hours or some shit. But that I thought that was initially, but need to. I guess I should have put it on the charge before I left for work and give it at least 9-10 hours worth of charge. But yeah, it's a pretty fucking gutless. Now this is where I can do what I'm thinking about doing, which I have a. It's going to be way too much, is what it's going to be, and I might need to get a new throttle assembly because this one, it's right now, it's just all or none. It's got a twist throttle, but it's all or none. But I think it's got some sort of technology where it kind of eases into the throttle. But I've got a 40-volt lithium-ion battery for a weed eater, and I think I might want to try to get that to bolt up to this little tiny electric dirt bike. But I don't need it to go fucking 100 miles an hour. I just need it to have enough power to push him up a hill, you know? So, but yeah, he's having fun on it right now. It doesn't work. It doesn't go as well in the grass, but and he doesn't know how to balance yet. He's 6 years old. He should probably learn how to balance by now, but we just haven't had him out on stuff. But I think this bike is actually going to be good for balance. He doesn't have to worry about pedaling and stuff, but he can get the balance down and he can ride around on that thing. But I throw the kids on the front of the dirt bike, which I know, I guess, is a controversial topic because I'm like, I'm not going to put my kid behind me. I'm not going to have him just holding on to me and be like, "Oh, if you fall off, fall off." I'm going to have him right in front of me, sitting on my lap, basically on the motorcycle. And he can sit right there. He can put one foot up on this bar that holds for the oil cooler, and the other one can go on the engine case. I mean, the engine will get hot, but not that hot. Not to melt a shoe or anything, but the exhaust on the other side will melt a shoe. But I think I might have him hop on the back of the bike and try that out. I might do that. But yeah, my daughter and my son, they both love riding on the dirt bike because I just take them up and down the street, ride through the yard and stuff. First gear, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just taking them around. It'll freak them out too. If I go too fast, they'll freak the fuck out. Man, I can't believe this backpack opened up. It when I was riding earlier, it opened up. Whenever I got to work, my hard hat was not it wasn't sticking out, but I the top I'm wearing a backpack instead of my normal work bag, and the fucking thing opened up. I think it's because I had both zippers at the top. I was thinking about, oh shit, I almost fell down. Fucking slick ass steps. Thinking about, I don't know. I don't even know. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for today. But I might be back later. But if not, keep all 18 down. Adios. Talk to you later.